Good morning, everybody. So today we are going to be discussing in our seventh unit, in our first year economics, seventh unit called it as a national income analysis. So in the previous unit, in the previous session, we have been discussed up to the sixth unit. The sixth unit called it as a theories of distribution. We have been learned here. So now let us discuss about the seventh unit called it as a national income analysis here. So today we are going to be discussing about what here. So the seventh unit called it as a national income analysis. So here what is actually the national income here? What is actually the national income? So let us discuss the introduction point here. So what is actually the national income? Actually national income analysis, the national income analysis is going to be described as how we are going to be view the aggregate income of the economy. Aggregate in the sense what here all together. So here, so the total income aggregate is nothing but what here. So with the all the sectors or in the all types of businesses or the professions, whatever it may be. So the income earned from the different ways. So here, when we are going to be adding the total income, when we are going to be adding that sum total of all those particular sorts of all the economic activities. So doing of all the economic activities, whatever the income we are going to be earning. So when we are going to be adding of all those particular income, when we are going to be adding all those particular income is called it as an what here? Aggregate income here. So the aggregate income of the economy we are going to be getting here. So national income generally, so in the national income analysis, what we are going to be describing here, how we are going to be aggregate, how we are going to be viewing, so aggregate income of our economy. Aggregate in the sense mean the overall income of our economy we are going to be learning here. So it helps us to examine. So what actually the national income will be doing here? So the national income is going to be helping us to examine various definitions. Actually, it is going to be helping us to learn the various definitions of the national income. So what are the different number of concepts are going to be in this unit, especially what we are going to be learning, what is actually the national income and what are the definitions. So the different number of economists have been given the different definitions of the that the national income we are going to be learning, and what are the different concepts which are going to be involved in our national income. What are the different concepts like that the gross national product, net national product, like that different number of concepts which are going to be involved in our in our the different number of concepts involved in our national income and the different methods. So here the different methods involved for calculating of a national income. So what are the different number of methods we are going to be using? Means not only in our country, so the overall economy. So what are the different methods they are going to be using to calculate the national income, and how to measure of the particular national income. So what are the limitations are there? What are the limitations are there for the national income and for the measuring of national income here? So and how the national income is going to be measured in our India, how the national income is going to be the worldwide we are going to be learning, and so which particular methods we are going to be using to calculate the which particular methods we are going to be using to calculate the national income in our India also we are going to be learning here. So we are going to be learning about what here? So how the national income is going to be measured in our India also we are going to be learning here. And here the so let us learn. So what are the definitions of national income? So the different number of definitions which has been given by the different number of economists we are going to be learning here. So that is nothing but what here? Definitions of national income. So here, so what are the different number of definitions are there for the national income? So generally, what is actually the national income? So national income is defined. National income has been defined in a number of ways. Means what here? Different number of ways we can define the national income. అంటే ఎన్నో రకాలుగా మనం నేషనల్ ఇన్కమ్ ని చెప్పుకోవచ్చు. అవునా? నేషనల్ ఇన్కమ్ ని ఎంతో మంది ఆర్థికవేత్తలు అంటే ఏంటి ఆర్థిక శాస్త్రవేత్తలు ఎన్నో రకాలుగా అంటే ఏంటి నిర్వచించడం అనేది జరిగింది. సో హియర్ నేషనల్ ఇన్కమ్ హ్యాస్ బీన్ డిఫైన్డ్ ఇన్ అ నంబర్ ఆఫ్ వేస్. So different ways we can define the national income here. So national income is the generally we are going to call it. So national income is a total market value of the goods and services. National income is the total market value of national income is the total market value of goods and services produced annually in a country. Annually in a country is called it as a what here national income. So national income has been defined. National income has been defined national income has been defined as a number of ways here. So national income is defined as it is the total market value. It is the total market value. Total market value of goods and services National income has been defined as it is the total market value of all final goods and services. Total market value of all final means what here the end which are readily available to use the consumers here. So the goods and services which are readily available to the consumers is called it as what here final goods, are also called it as what here finished goods. Final goods also called it as what here finished goods here. So the national income has been defined as it is the total market value of all final goods and services, all the final goods and services produced annually in a country. Produced annually in a country. Produced annually in a country. Produced annually in a country is called it as what here national income. So what is actually the national income here? So here national income has been defined as so it is a total market value of all finished means all final goods and services produced annually in a country. Produced annually in a country means what here? Suppose take the example, our Indian country is there. So in our Indian country, again the country has been subdivided into different number of states. So the states are again subdivided into different number of districts, different number of villages, mandals, like this it has been divided. So here what is actually the meaning of all final goods and services? So that each district, each mandal, each village, and each state of that particular country, all the states together, so producing of the different number of goods and services, produced together the different number of goods and services multiplied by their particular prices is called it as what here the final goods means which are readily available for the consumables here, which are readily available for the consumer means here direct utilization of the consumers. So those finished goods are the finished goods is also called it as final goods. So within 1 year, so here all those particular goods and services produced by that particular country within 1 year of period is 365 or 66 days. If it is a leap year, we are consisting of 366 days. If it is a normal year, so we are consisting of 365 days here. So multiplied by all those particular number of goods and services produced by the different number of companies, firms, households, whatever it may be. So multiplied by their particular market value. Total market value means what here multiplied by their prices if we have done. Multiplied by their prices if we have done. So we are going to getting the total market value of those all the final goods and services here. Final goods and services. So within 1 year is called it as a what here? National income. Is called it as a what here? National income. అంటే ఏంటి నేషనల్ ఇన్కమ్ ని తెలుగులో ఏమంటున్నాము? జాతీయ ఆదాయం అని అంటున్నాం. నేషనల్ ఇన్కమ్ ని తెలుగులో ఏమంటాము? జాతీయ ఆదాయం అని అంటాం. జాతీయ ఆదాయం మనం ఏ విధంగా లెక్కిస్తాము? ఒక సంవత్సరం మొత్తంలో ఒక దేశము ఒక సంవత్సరం మొత్తంలో ఎన్ని వస్తువు సేవలని, అక్కడ గూడ్స్ అంటే ఏంటి? వస్తువులు, సేవలు అంటే ఏంటి? సర్వీసెస్. మొత్తం ఎన్ని వస్తువు సేవల్ని ఉత్పత్తి చేసిందో దాన్ని మనం గుణించడం. ఆ వస్తువుకు లేదా ఆ యొక్క సేవ యొక్క ధరతో గనక మనము గుణిస్తే వచ్చే వాల్యూనే ఏమంటున్నాం ఇక్కడ? నేషనల్, జాతీయ ఆదాయం అని అంటున్నాం. గుణించగా వచ్చేది ఆ వస్తువుల యొక్క ధరలు, ఆ వస్తువులు మరియు సేవల యొక్క ధరలను గుణించగా వచ్చే మొత్తాన్ని ఏమంటున్నాం ఇక్కడ? మనము జాతీయ ఆదాయము అని అంటున్నాము. నేషనల్ ఇన్కమ్ అంటే ఏంటి? జాతీయ ఆదాయము అని అంటాం. అంటే ఏంటి? జాతీయ ఆదాయం అంటే మన దేశం యొక్క ఆదాయం. జాతీయ ఆదాయం అంటే ఏంటి? మన దేశం యొక్క మొత్తం ఆదాయం. ఏ విధంగా లెక్కిస్తాము? మొత్తం ఎన్నైతే వస్తు సేవల్ని మొత్తం ఒక సంవత్సరంలో ఆ దేశము ఉత్పత్తి చేస్తుందో వాటిని ఏం చేస్తాము? వాటి ధరలతో గుణిస్తాం అన్నమాట. వచ్చే వాల్యూ ఏమవుతుంది? అది మనకి ఇక్కడ నేషనల్, జాతీయ ఆదాయము అంటే ఏంటి? నేషనల్ ఇన్కమ్ అవుతుంది. సో ద టోటల్ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ గూడ్స్ అండ్ సర్వీసెస్ ప్రొడ్యూస్డ్ ఇన్ an year in a country is called it as an what here? That is the value, market value is nothing but what here? The national income here. So it is a general meaning here. So here in other way we can also define the national income as so the total income accrued to a country from various economic activities. The total income accrued to a country from various economic activities, in a year's time is called within 1 year period of time is called it as a what here? National income. So what we are calling in other way what that the national income can be defined in a other way. So this is also one of the definition for the national income. So in any other way we can define the national income is nothing but the total income accruing to a country. Total income accruing means either it may get or it may should have to get the country from various economic activities. Various economic means what here? Money earning. Economic activity in the sense what here? So the money earning, that earned money can be again spent to the purchase of goods and services, isn't it or not? The money earning activity is called it as an economic activity. So for participating of the different number of economic activities, so the total income within 1 year, so how much it is going to be arise, that is called it as a national income. That is called it as a what here? National income. So it includes the payment made to all factors of production. The national income include of what here? Payment made to all the factors of production. Means what here? By earning of this particular income, we must need to also spend the income. Payments also we should have to made for all the factors of production which we have been used or not here? Yes. So the different number of factors of production we are going to be using for producing of these particular goods and services. After making the payment of all these particular factors of production, so the left out income is called it as in what here? National income. So production from the as in the form of an. So what how we are going to be paying for these particular factors of production? As in the form of an rent we are paying, as in the form of an wages, or in the form of an interest, or in the form of an profits here. So rent can be paid for the land, wages can be paid to the laborer, and interest will be paid to the capital. Interest is going to be paid to whom here? That the capital, and the organization is going to be earning in the form of a profits here. So after making the payments, so the left out income is called it as a what here? National income here. So that is the definitions of definitions of this particular national income can be divided into mainly two classes here. So the definitions of national income can be divided into two classes. The definitions of national income can be divided into two categories. divided into two categories. So the definitions of the national income can be categorized into mainly two categories here. So one is of that the traditional definitions, which are going to be advocated by the Marshall, Pigou and Fisher, and the second one is modern definitions here. So the first one is called it as traditional definitions. The first one is going to be called it as in what here? Traditional definitions. So advocated by means who have defined these particular traditional definitions. Those are called advocated in the sense what here? Defined by who? So advocated by Marshall, Pigou and Fisher. Marshall, Pigou and Fisher. Traditional definitions advocated by whom here? Traditional definitions are going to be advocated by the Marshall, Pigou and the Fisher here. Marshall, Pigou and the Fishers here. So the second category is what here? That the modern definitions. The second category is what it as in what here? Modern definitions. So that the second category is called it as in what here? That the modern definitions here. The second category is called it as a modern definitions. So mainly that the definitions of the national income can be categorized into two categories. One is of traditional definition, that the another one is called it as a modern definitions. So the traditional definitions has been defined by the Marshall, Pigou and Fishers here. Marshall is the one of the economist, Pigou is the one of the economist, and the Fisher is the another economist here. So the modern economist has been, the modern economist is called it as an Quaznet here. Modern economist is called it as an Quaznet here. So here let's discuss in detail about these particular definitions here. So the different number of definitions which has been given the definitions here. So let us discuss. The first one is the traditional definitions. Under the traditional definitions, the definition defined by the Marshall we are going to be discussing here. So the definition defined by the Marshall we are going to be defining here. So the Marshall defined definition is also called it as a Marshall's definition. Marshall defined definition is also called it as in what here? Marshall's definition. According to the Alfred Marshall, Marshall means is what is his full name? Alfred Marshall. So according to the Alfred Marshall, so here the labor and capital of a country, the labor and capital of a country acting on its natural resources, the labor and capital on its the labor and capital acting on its natural resources, the labor and capital acting on its natural resources produce annually a certain net aggregate of produce annually in the sense what here? Yearly net aggregate means all together of commodities here. The commodity include of what here? Goods and also the services here. Commodities includes of what here? Goods and services. So material and non-material including the services here. Materialistic things and non-materialistic things, including of services of all kind of services, free of cost services and that the money made services here. Isn't it? So here materialistic, non-materialistic. These all will be called it as a what here? It is called it as a national income. So this is the true and annual income. This is the true means what here? It is a real one here. True and real annual income, revenue of the country. Revenue is nothing but what here? Income of the country here. Income of that particular country. So in this definition, the word net refers to net. So what we are saying, net aggregate we are going to call it. Net, N-E-T, net. Net aggregate we have been defined here. So what is the meaning of the word net here in this particular definition? So what is the meaning of the word net here? So net means what here? Referred to deducting of depreciation, Net means what here? Deduction of the depreciation from the gross national income. Deduction of the depreciation from the gross national income, and to this income from abroad must be added. Income from abroad must be added. Abroad income. So here the persons who will be getting the income of our country, the abroad countries, so that income is also going to be added here. So that's what we are calling income from abroad is going to be added to our national income. So depreciation. So here what a deduction of depreciation means, the asset value is going to be reducing, no? Machineries, the furniture. So this all the assets value is going to be depreciated every year. So the depreciated value is going to be reduced. The total income minus the depreciated value, and for that we are going to be adding of what here? Net abroad income. From the abroad, whatever the income we are getting to our country, so that will be added. So that is called it as in what here? National income, defined by the Alfred Marshall. మనకి ఏంటి? ఆస్తులకి డిప్రిసియేషన్, తరుగుదల అనేది నమోదు చేస్తాం ప్రతి సంవత్సరం కూడా, అవునా కదా? ఆ తరుగుదల అనేది తీసేసేగా మిగిలిన ఇన్కమ్ ఏదైతే ఉందో దాన్ని ఏమంటున్నాము? అగ్రిగేట్ ఇన్కమ్ అని అంటున్నాము. దానికి ఏం చేస్తాం మనం? మళ్ళీ మనకి అబ్రాడ్ అంటే ఏంటి? వేరే దేశాలు, విదేశీయాల నుంచి వచ్చే ఇన్కమ్ ని కూడా మనము యాడ్ చేస్తాము. దాన్ని అప్పుడు ఏమంటున్నాం మనము? జాతీయ ఆదాయం అని అంటున్నాం. సో ద నెక్స్ట్ సెకండ్ డెఫినేషన్, who is the second economist who have been defined the national income? Pigou. So here Pigou's definition. So the second definition is called it as in what here? Pigou's definition. So here according to AC Pigou, according to AC Pigou, according to AC Pigou, so national income is that part of the objective. So national income is that part of the objective income. So according to the AC Pigou, what he had been defined, national income is that part of the income, objective income. So national income is that part of the objective income of the community. Community in the sense what here? Group of people who are living together is called it as a community. So here that the including of course income derived from the abroad, which can be measured in money. So the income derived from the abroad, and also here including of course means what here? Within our country. So the different number of activities, whatever the income we are going to be incurring, so that can be derived, that can be measured in the form of a money value, is called it as in what here? National income here. So here that he has included that which can be measured in terms of money. So in his particular definition, what he had been included, national income is measured in the form of money here. So it can be measured in the terms of money here. So this definition is the better than the Marshall's definition. Yes. So the AC Pigou's definition. So there he had been included only goods and services. So here the market value of the goods and services has been defined by the Marshall here. So abroad income he had been said, but so all those particular income which can be measured in the form of a money, monetary value lo express చేసేది మాత్రమే ఇక్కడ నేషనల్ ఇన్కమ్ అని ఎక్స్ప్రెస్ చేస్తున్నారు. అదంతా కూడా ఏం చేయాలి? మనము మనీ మెజర్మెంట్ అంటే మనీ వాల్యూ కింద ఎక్స్ప్రెస్ చేయాలి. దాన్నే నేషనల్ ఇన్కమ్ అంటున్నాం. So here the AC Pigou has been defined defined definition is better than the Marshall's definition here. He had said materialistic, non-materialistic. What is actually the materialistic, non-materialistic by the Marshall definition here? So that's what. So all those particular income, whatever we are going to be earning in our country, those all the income can be expressed and also even in the abroad income also can be measured in the form of a money value. So the money value is going to be considered here. So that's what they have been specified here. So the AC Pigou's definition of the national income is greater than the Marshall's definition of national income. And further that the Fisher has been defined the national income here. So the traditional economist of Fisher has defined the national income here. So what is actually the Fisher's definition of national income? So Fisher adapted the consumption as the criteria. Fisher has been adapted the consumption అంటే consumable goods. So he had been adapted the consumption means the total number of goods and services utilized తీసుకున్నాడు అక్కడ. So here the Fisher adapted the consumption of the criteria of the national income. Marshall and Pigou regarded is as a as at the production here. Marshall and Pigou has regarded the production. One production is తీసుకున్నాడు. Based on the how many number of goods and services has been produced, they have been taken by the Marshall and Pigou. But what he is going to be taking the concept of consumption. So the total number of goods and services consumed by the consumers, goods and services consumed by the consumers in an year is taken into consideration by the Fisher here, called it as a traditional economist. So here Marshall and Pigou are the means they have been regarded as a production, but it had been taken. Fisher has been taken the consumption criteria here. So according to the Fisher, so here the national income consists of, according to the Fisher, the national income consists of solely of services as received by the ultimate consumers. So solely as ultimately means what here received by the services received by the ultimate consumers. The services received by the ultimate consumers, whether from their material or from the human environment here. So whether it may be in the form of their material or from their human environment here. So only the services rendered during the year are the income had been defined here. Only services rendered in the year are taken into consideration as the national income here. So Fisher's definition is better than the more scientific. Fisher definition is better and more scientific. Those are of Marshall and the Pigou's definition here. So Fisher's definition provided an adequate concept. Fisher's definition is also has been provided an adequate concept of consumption, and consumption represents the standard of living here. Yes, consumption stage will be representing of what here? Standard of living of the human beings here. Standard of living of the human beings. So that's what it is somewhat better than the Fisher, Alfred Marshall and the A.C. Pigou's definition here, by the definition given by the Fisher here. And but the definitions advocated by the Marshall, Pigou and Fisher are not flawless here. Are not flawless means what here? Which cannot be acceptable here. Exactly acceptable here. So here the Marshall and Pigou's definitions deal with the Marshall and Pigou's definitions are going to be dealing with the results of economic welfare. But Fisher's definition is useful to compare the economic welfare at different years here. Economic welfare at the different years. Welfare in the sense what here? Well-being of the society. So the Alfred Marshall and Pigou's definition will be that the well-being of the society, they have to define the national income. But here what? So it will be the comparing the welfare of the society from different years. The Fisher's definition here. So that is the definitions that the traditional definitions has been given, the different definitions for the national income here. And the modern definition, who had been given the definition for the economics, is Kuznets definition. Kuznets definition here. So from the modern point of view, from the modern means modern economy point of view, from the modern point of view, according to the Kuznets, from the modern point of view, according to the Kuznets, so national income is the net output of commodities and services. So according to the modern according to the modern point of view, Kuznets defined the national income is the net output. National income is the net output of commodities and services, commodities of goods, services following during a year means within 1 year from the country productive system into the hands of ultimate consumers. Productive system into the ultimate consumers means production point to the final consumption of the goods to customers will be taken as what here? That the national income. The value of the goods can be taken in the form of, and goods and services can be taken in the form of, and what here? So that is nothing but the national income defined by whom here, that the person. Who is he? He is an one of the modern economists. He is an one of the person is a one of the modern economists. He defined of what here? So the national income is the total output of the national income is the total output అంటే ఏంటి మొత్తం ఉత్పత్తి. So total output of commodities and services, goods and also the services from the following during the year, means within a 1 year period, from the countries, means within that particular country, during the productive system, means the production capacity of goods and services handed to ultimate consumers, means what here it is hand over to ultimate consumers. What is the value of the particular goods and services is nothing but the national income we have been defined here. So with this, these are the definitions, different number of definitions of the national income we have been learned here.